So, hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And what is it like to be an actual factory farmed animal? I think that most of us, quote unquote, know that it's a horrible experience and it's just not right. And as many vegans, I suppose, might say, it's morally reprehensible, it's bad for the environment, and so on. I'm not going to say that it is a paradise to be a factory farmed animal. I'm certainly not going to say that it's probably a good thing for the environment. Um, I really do hope that at some point that we are not eating animals at all. I think that would be great. But is the existence of a factory farmed animal exactly the way that we think that it is? And by that I would mean we think of it as probably some kind of a hell. Um, and for example, let me extrapolate out for a second. Let's look at the animals in zoos. You know, they are not given the range that they would normally have in the wild. And, you know, some of us might be like, oh, the poor animals in the zoo. The thing is, and some people might think that this is absurd, but while people are pitying the animals in the zoo, they're not pitying the zookeepers in the zoo. And you might say, well, why? What's the difference? I mean, the zookeepers are free. They can come and go wherever they want. They can do whatever they want. But we are animals too. This, the city, the town, whatever, this is not our natural environment. I don't even know that we were naturally hunter-gatherers. I don't even know what we are. But whatever we were or are, this this is not our natural environment. Um, the houses that we live in, um, the days that we have, you know, Monday to Friday, many people, we work in the best hours of the day when we could be, you know, if I look at let's say an a lion on the plains, they spend a lot of their time just sleeping. They have no job to get up and go to. They hunt. They can be injured in the hunt, and after they've hunted and they've fed, and you know, life is horrible out in the plains. Whether you're wildebeest, whether you're a crocodile, whether you are capuchin monkey, a bear, a grizzly bear, a whale, whatever you are, you know, these remnants, these, I don't want to say it disparagingly, but it sounds disparagingly, these dregs of wildlife that we have, that we hold on to, as if, oh my God, most of the wildlife is dead. You know, 80% of land mammals, like however many percent of insects, however many percent of marine animals, whatever, they're gone. And what we have, we look at it and we're like, oh my God, you have to save this and save that. They're mostly gone. They're mostly extinct anyway. But aside from any of that, we are domesticated. We are not whatever the heck it was that we were designed to be. Plains animals, hunter-gatherers, whatever it is, that's not what we are. Is our life horrible? Working from 9 to 5 or whenever it is that you work, um, having to live in a particular area. You can't go to another country. Maybe if you're in America, you can go from sea to shining sea, I suppose. But you're not free to go wherever you want, whenever you want. You have certain limitations. The more wealthier you are, the more places you can go to, I suppose, and you know how to live. So if I'm looking at the animals in the zoo, or I'm looking at the animals that are trapped on a nature preserve, because we look at it and we're like, oh, that's nature. Is it nature to be trapped on a nature preserve? And if you come out and you hassle the villagers or whoever it is, you could die. I mean, in the whole of North America, are there buffalo that are free to go wherever they want? No. Are there bears? Are there wolves? I mean, I guess there's deer. Are they free to go wherever they want? They're free to die, running across a highway. They're free to. My point is this. We want these animals to be free, but there's nowhere in the world that their habitat has not been impinged on. And we want these animals to be free, and we are not free. We have one place that we need to be, and we think that it's pretty good, right? I mean, most of us in the developed world should think that our lives are pretty good. Even in the developing world, depending on where you are, you probably would think, hey, this is probably better than a lot of, in the past, maybe in the Industrial Revolution, maybe this is better than being a peasant, than being a slave, than being, dying at an early age, suffering. At least we have hospital care. Maybe if we can afford it, we are domesticated. We are farmed. If you wanted to look at it from another point of view, the human version of us is the corporate CEO who farms, he has a farm of a whole bunch of employees. Or it used to be a noble who farmed his peasants, or it used to be a slave owner who farmed his slaves. We are domesticated. We are under the yoke. We have to say, yes, sir. How high, sir? And, I'm probably going to title this still from a dementia patient's caretaker point of view. Another thing that I wanted to put in, and I guess I still have to put it in anywhere, is that here it is. I know from my uncle, I do things that are good for him. Like when he's dirty, I'll try to clean him up. He doesn't want me to do what I'm doing. He may moan, he may make protest, he may complain, but he doesn't, when the spoonful of food comes, depending on the mood that he's in, he might open his mouth, and I have to trick him. I have to do this and that in order to get him to open his mouth, to drink water properly now at this point. I have to take him to put him in a car to get a vaccination. He doesn't want any of those things. He doesn't want me to do it. When a zookeeper takes an animal to get treated, when they put them under, they don't want to be put under. When, an animal is getting vaccinated, let's say, you're going to live, let's say a chicken. The chicken lives a month. Maybe it used to live a year. Maybe it used to live 2 years. Maybe, but I'm sure a lot of those chickens, even during that time that they lived, had a whole bunch of parasites. If they died horribly. They would have, lose their progeny, definitely. But my point is, in their capacity, if I'm trying to help a wild animal, for example, it doesn't want my help. It just knows that I want to eat it. As far as well, it's not even getting to that point. It's just like, what are you doing? Scream, 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 resist, resist, resist. I might be saving its life. It might be lame. It's not going to come up to me and be like, hey, okay, I know you want to help me. It doesn't know any more or any better than my uncle knows that I want to help him or whatever. All that it knows is the life that it was leading 5 minutes before you bugged it. And that's the same thing that, you know, a pig in a pen knows. It knows food comes around a certain time, and I like food. Tastes good. What are you talking about? The plains? I could run in the plains? To begin with, I was not bred or designed to be in the plains. I was designed to be in this pen. If me, physically go out into the plains, I probably would break my leg because I was never supposed to be this big, this heavy, this, brown, this black, this blue, this whatever it is. I was designed for here. And I don't know anything else about any other place. And I've never run. And we're going to look at that and be like, oh my God, it can't even run. It has never run. Let's have it out in the free range. Or let's not vaccinate them. Let's just have them only grow the ones that can run around. And then it's like, do you want to pay for a chicken to run around and have a good time before you eat it at the end of its 6 weeks, its 4 weeks of life? Do you want to know that your chicken had a good time? Or do you just want cheap chicken? And even if your chicken had a good time, uh, is that really useful to you? That your chicken had a good time? Is it useful to your chicken that it had a good time? At the end of its life, is the chicken going to look back on the whole of its life and say, I had a good run. This was a really enjoyable time. I don't know. I don't know that if we snapped our fingers and we were in the future and the only thing that we were eating was yeast of different varieties, something that tasted as just like chicken. So now we could have our fake chicken and no guilt. And nowhere on planet Earth there's a chicken, a pig, because why would we have them? We wouldn't. They would just be the wild ones penned on their own zoos, their own reserves, and we could be happy saying, there they are, living and dying and suffering and having their children, like a whale. There's a whale out there in the ocean, and the orcas have attacked her calf. And we're like, yeah, those orcas are doing what they were meant to do naturally, which is attack the tail of that calf to the point where it can no longer swim and it can drown, and they'll take a couple bites from it and then they'll go on and find something else to do. And that is what I'm about. That is really what I'm about. Really? Okay. I don't know that life is as open and shut as it was to me when I was a kid and I went and I saw these fishermen in this particular place and they were fishing and I saw one of these little fishes come in and it was floundering on the beach and I was sad. I was crying. This fish is dying. This is horrible. Oh. Or when, my grandmother had chickens or something, and I'm like, I'm never going to eat that chicken. It's kind of like, my nose is all stuffy, but it's kind of like, is life as simple, is as simple as that 6-year-old or that 10-year-old thought that it was? I don't know. Because I'm sure that 6-year-old and that 10-year-old wouldn't want to see how those animals would end up out in nature. That 6-year-old and that 10-year-old would be upset, or that 4-year-old or however old I was, would be upset by what we do to nature, and would probably be upset with what nature does to nature. And you can't tell a 6-year-old this one horrible thing, this thing that seems horrible, this is a better horrible thing than this other horrible thing that you see. This one is a lot better. You see how this lion is killing this wildebeest while it's alive, and it's making a noise, and all these 6 lions descend on it. Or you see this wildebeest covered in ticks as it ages and dies. Or you see this other creature picked up that just got an illness and is sick, and half of its leg is rotting away in the wilderness. That is good. That's how things are supposed to be. That's nature. That's natural. And that's not something that we want to see either. I don't know why we think that that is better. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Um, I'm sure nobody wants to hear it, but I wanted to say it. Well, thanks for listening. Have a good one. Peace.